Ebro in the morning on Hot 97.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's Ebro in the morning. I'm here with Rosenberg and legends on.
Hold on.
These dudes, all the way through the '90s, right? And it's 2017, and they have a festival that's the only way Insane Clown Posse.
Yes.
Get up for Insane Clown
Yeah.
Posse.
Pilot J, Shaggy,
Now,
Too Dope.
I have to be honest. I've never understood the entire Violent J, Shaggy, Too Dope, Insane Clown Posse movement. Right? All I knew was early on, you guys are from Detroit. I knew that. I knew you guys had the inner city. I read this.
Inner City Posse.
Right.
Yeah.
So you guys was just rhyming. 90s.
Yeah.
90s doing shows, rapping.
No,
and-
80s, late
Well,
80s.
let's start back there. So how did the rap thing begin for you guys?
First time we rapped, I was in 7th grade. What were you in 5th?
Yeah, like 6th grade, something like that.
It was me, him, and his older brother, and that's who was in the original.
We're talking late 80s right now.
We're talking.
Yeah, like
shit.
88.
Okay.
All I know is License to Ill was out.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? And we did a group called the JJ Boys, and somehow we knew this dude. We lived in the suburbs, and there was this dude that had, he could scratch. He had
Yeah, some dude
drum
I knew was
machine.
his cousin.
This was in the dawn of rap, man.
Scratch Master
And he had
T.
like the whole hookup in his bedroom, recording equipment. And
There's always that guy. There's always
Right.
got to be the one guy with the
Well, they had the
turntable.
cool
And he was-
parents.
and
They
he
had
was
the cool parents.
and he was way older than us, and like I don't know what he was doing. Like I wonder now, but
Right.
he was hooking us up, like recording us and everything, and that was our first thing. But then we went back to wanting to be wrestlers again, because some shit happened that we missed out on this talent show, and it just broke my heart.
Why'd you miss the talent show?
Well,
Yeah, this
these
was
dudes
as a
that-
group we were called the JJ Boys.
Yeah.
Okay.
You know, there's 3 of us named J. It was just JJ Boys for some reason.
Okay.
Because JJJ Boys, I guess, sounded too long.
Didn't sound right.
Yeah,
Well,
right.
just
It wasn't-
didn't work.
Wasn't as
Didn't
nice
Could
on
have
the
been
ear.
3 J Boys. but-
Right. So you missed the talent show.
Yeah,
and your kids at
these
the time.
dudes we used to battle, we call the Wrecking Crew at our school. They lived in Royal Oak Township, and they were like, "Hey, sign up for this talent show." We're like, "Man, we ain't fucking talent show," And then so the night of the talent
We're
show,
we're too big for
You're
that.
already
shit
too
back
big.
then.
But we just thought it was gonna be corny because we're used to like the talent
the
shows.
real shit.
We're like we're
saying?
used to the talent shows at like what's this middle school just
Right,
some
right.
bullshit, right? And it was like at the rec center in the township. It was an all black neighborhood, and I just was like talent show, And then he called me, my friend Lacey. He's like, "You gonna come see us tonight?" I said, "Yeah." I went down there. This motherfucker was sold out. I'm not like
Packed house.
1,000 people at a recreation center in the township, right? And this dude let me in the side door for $5. I had 5 spot on me. I don't know where that came from even, but he let me in the side door, And I walked in there, and I remember this girl came out, and everybody's like, yeah, kill it, whatever. And she started singing, and the place just erupted, And I was just like,
This shit is real.
this
You were
is
like,
so dope,
This shit is real.
And it was so packed. I'm standing on a chair, right? And then when Lacey, Fat Pat, and Jock came out in them all red suits, and Fat Pat started rapping, beatboxing, and Lacey and Jock started rapping, eruption. That's when I was like, we're done. Back to being wrestlers.
Well, wait, you were so disappointed that you
Hell
missed this
yeah.
opportunity.
Man, beyond recognition. I was crushed. Like, they won. Like, we used to battle in the hallways.
And you know you could beat them?
They didn't just.
No, well, I know our shit was. I thought. Well, they probably thought the same. I thought our tape was dope.
But once they did that talent show and we missed it, you know what I'm saying? They weren't
had
hands
that
down.
buzz.
They
They had
crushed
that
us.
buzz, yeah.
Right, because we never get that opportunity again.
So then you guys
The
go back.
talent show
So this is so you guys were then already
What
like
year?
86. It had to be
86.
86.
Okay.
And so you started doing backyard wrestling.
We've been doing that since 7th grade.
And that way predates when backyard wrestling became borderline a damn near
Oh, no-
epidemic
no
in
doubt.
the late
Yeah,
90s.
with the videos and all
Yeah,
that.
when WWE had to come
Yeah,
out and be like, don't do this.
But we weren't doing like all the crazy hardcore stuff. Like
You were
they
just
were doing
wrestling.
We were just wrestling. Yeah,
You guys weren't
headlocks.
jumping off the roof onto the table and
No,
with barbed
none
wire
of that.
and
We
baseball bat.
like I don't know how we did it to this day because I was probably like in 5th or 6th grade. He was in like 6th or 7th, whatever. We found because I used to live like in the industrial section. You know what I'm saying, right by the train tracks and all that. We went and found railroad ties. Pounding them hoes into the floor. You know what I'm saying?
With
With
a
a rock.
task. We had to wait till it
With a rock.
rained.
You
We
know
had to
what
wait
I'm
till it
saying?
rained so the ground was softer.
And then
Yeah,
they
there was a
hardened up, and them boys
sledgehammer.
were in there tight. You know what I'm saying?
They were
Like
deep in the
And then we
ground.
found garden hoses and garbages, dumpsters, whatever, and we used drilled holes. With just screwdrivers into the railroad ties, you know what I'm saying, and put them ropes up, and then found these big industrial rolls of tape and use those for
Tape the ropes
turnbuckles.
up. This
And you could
motherfucker
go on
look
the
like a
top,
real
jump
ring
on
in
that
the
shit, and it
backyard.
wouldn't.
You go to the
nothing
top
bowed,
row.
nothing.
That's
To this
incredible.
day, I
And we
wonder how we
pass
made
out
that.
flyers all through the neighborhood. Come see NAW Wrestling, Neighborhood All-Star Wrestling, you know, pass that out everywhere. And free hot dogs, you know. My mom was a janitor at church, and she would, like, snag a bunch of hot dogs out of the kitchen at night, you know.
And get the steamer and all that. And
Yeah,
sit
And
in
what,
the
and what,
chairs.
kind of, what kind of neighborhood is this? Like a working class, lower
It's
class?
Detroit.
Detroit.
Yeah.
This is 9 Mile Road, like right
Yeah, this
outside
is
Detroit limits. This is like
welfare, you know what I'm
a
saying?
welfare
Is
neighborhood.
it is it mostly
blue collar,
is it mostly white or mixed?
mixed?
Okay,
But like
And all people who didn't have a lot though.
Right.
every school I went to from 6th grade on was completely mixed. You know what I'm saying? And we were the only white dudes rocking hood emblems, Kango hats, Adidas suits. Me and my brother would trade. I'd rock these.
What was
Adidas
your favorite
suit.
hood hat? Hood ornament. Cadillac.
Oh, we had them all.
Mercedes,
He was-
man.
he
They're the
was
hardest
insane
one.
about it. He was
They were the
insane
hardest
about it.
one, man.
I had a
because
friend
they
that
had like a
loved
little.
the Mack Truck Bulldogs.
Oh,
The
them
Mack
were
Truck
hard. You had to
Bulldogs.
pop the hood to get those or crowbar them boys
Love
off.
those. He loved
But yeah, the
them.
Mercedes ones, they were hard to get off without busting them because they had like that little swivel piece on them. Where, you know
was
what I'm
like
saying? A
on a
little ball
string or
bearing or
something. Yeah,
something.
yeah, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So them were hard to get off without breaking. You know, and then when the Beastie Boys, you know, getting one of those big VW ones.
It ain't
them-
like
them
today
were-
though,
them were the
where
boys.
hip hop is so embedded in culture,
And
It's just
everyone is
everywhere.
No,
you
no.
know?
I remind people because I'm a little bit younger than you guys, but I remind people there was a time when not every person at the hip hop show was white, and
Hell
you
no.
actually, you
we
actually,
were the only white dudes,
Yeah.
except
Going
for
to
some
Joe
chicks,
Louis? Yeah.
which I ended up with later in life. But some chicks, a group of like 4 chicks, maybe a dude in there. And us, there's 2 white crews at the hip hop shows down at Joe Louis Arena. We'd see them every time.
Oh, so you guys went to the big
What's up?
shows?
Oh yeah,
the
throw,
tours.
throw out the Joe. Yeah, they weren't the tours. They weren't tours. They would just throw a bunch of rappers onto a show. You know what I'm saying? Like it'd be like Ice Cube, Third
Ghetto
Base,
Boys,
Ghetto
Yo-Yo,
Boys. You know
MC
what I'm saying?
Breed came out, did some shit. Everybody's like, yeah, and then he broke into Ain't No Future in Your
Oh
Front.
man, forget about it. Yeah.
R.I.P. MC
the
Breed.
excitement, like the energy in that motherfucker, man. Like
So okay, so then you guys go back to the wrestling for real, and you decide to give wrestling a push.
we did it. We became independent wrestlers around the Midwest. We lied our way in.
I was real small, so I was be his manager. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
I weighed like 150 pounds.
And I said, yeah.
But you were the better wrestler, technically.
Later on, yeah.
Hell
Okay.
yeah, way better.
But you and Violent J, you had a lot. You was bigger back then.
I got bigger and bigger. Then I lost a lot of weight. Then I got really big. You know what I'm saying? And then I just said, man,
Almost big pun status. You know what I'm saying?
No.
No.
What was the biggest you ever got?
I got like 400 something pounds.
Well,
real.
well, you look great now. Then
Thank
what,
you.
what
It's-
did you?
I want to tell you, I went to the gym and busted out weights and shit, but it was nothing like that, man. Straight starvation.
To lose the weight?
You know what I'm
To
saying?
lose the weight?
Straight starvation. Like take the whole idea of food and delete it. You get what I'm saying? Don't even think about it. Like that's where people fuck up. They think I got my 1 meal a day.
Ebro's big on that.
I'm gonna have some of this and some of that.
Because people
That's where you
romance the food.
Just
They
take
romance
the
the
entire concept and have enough to live, and know that pain, that hunger is because you're fat. It's burning. That shit hurts. So that's a good thing.
And you're addicted to it too. It's
Right,
like a
I was
drug.
addicted like drugs, man. Like just self-medicating at night. I was in a I don't want to go too personal about that because I don't want nobody to take offense. But like I wasn't happy, you know what I'm saying? And I just would just like, I hated stepping on stage, man. I felt like everybody in the crowd was thinking, "Damn, look how fat Jay got," Like
What
it was
years?
a
What
nightmare.
years were you at your fattest?
A lot of years, man. A lot of years.
No, listen, it's an amazing
Well, you guys
story.
put this stuff in your music though, like,
Right?
I
You-
mean,
you pour out all
it's
the time.
coded. Like I'm not a big follower of your music. I never really understood.
Man, I got fat kid love for life, man. Let me tell you something very honestly, from being fat to skinny, all right? You're treated different when you're fat, man. That's reality. You're just treated.
People look at
lesser.
you different. They talk to you different.
I swear to God on everything I love, man. You're treated different.
I mean, you could just listen and when people are about to fight. You know what I'm saying? You fat motherfucker. You know what I'm saying? That's always the first thing that pops up. You know, if you're
you
fat.
got it bad when you're fat, man. I got love for fat kids. We say kids, we mean everybody. For the rest of my life, man, I'll always be a fat kid.
But but your music though, and a lot of people don't understand the culture of Detroit outside of Detroit and what Detroit was like, and even everything that comes out of there musically, right? From Rick James and
Yeah,
and
we
Motown.
I can't
and-
wait to get into this because, man, you guys made a couple comments. You know what I'm saying, when you had Tech on a show that I just want to talk.
You want to
about.
dissect? So we'll get there.
Yeah,
we'll get
yeah,
there.
yeah.
I don't want to rush through it.
But you guys with with the face painting and
Yeah.
bringing that to rap music,
Yeah.
was that inspired by the wrestling part that then you brought that to rap?
Absolutely. Showmanship. But for some reason, showmanship in Detroit they go back to the early 70s.
No doubt.
Alice Cooper.
Right.
He's not
Kiss.
from
Kiss.
Detroit. Those guys aren't from Detroit, but you think they are.
Right, 'cause it
Alice
did feel like
Cooper
that was
calls
home.
Detroit
But
home.
they were
He's from
struggling.
Arizona.
Yeah, they were
But
struggling bands, and as soon as they got to Detroit, their shows, they'd be selling out the Olympia back in the day. You know what I'm saying? Cobo Arena.
And what is it? What is it about
I
that
don't know.
showmanship and that thing
I
in
don't know.
Detroit that people?
Bro, I don't know.
I think-
it's been
I
there
think- I
since the
think-
early 70s. They love showmanship.
Right.
Prince's first city, successful, Detroit.
Right. I
you know,
think-
all
I think people-
flamboyant with the, you know.
I think
in
people
his
just want
panties
more
and
for their
shit.
money, you know what I'm
Detroit
saying?
loved
Something.
them. Detroit loved them.
Do you think, Shaq? You think people just they want
They want more for their money, you know what I'm saying? Because
You
they
guys
bust ass to
realize
get it, you know?
when Prince was wearing panties, yeah, nobody was doing that. You know what I'm
Right.
talking about? Like,
That's why him and Rick James had such a battle. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Because Rick James like, yo, Prince ripped me off. And he's like, I
right?
didn't
You think
rip
you
none
could
of
dress
that.
like a woman? I'll
Right.
show you dressing like a woman.
I wear 6-inch high heels, not 5.
But like even Prince, you know, Detroit embraced the hell out of him. You know, first.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
So in your music,
When we started rapping, let me
Yeah.
just to answer your original question. When we started rapping, there were 2 dudes making noise in Detroit, making money,
MC Breen.
getting it killed.
No, he's
Breed-
Flint. He was
Breed came
Flint.
years later.
Oh wow.
There was 2 dudes getting it in. Kid Rock, all right, who was from 32 Mile Road.
This is before, you know, he was
Way-
a bull god and all that. This is when
way
he
out.
just rapped, you know?
Way out in a city called Romeo, which probably is population 1,000, right? But he wasn't fronting. He be sitting on a tractor in his promo shit with a cowboy hat on, a piece of wheat in his mouth.
And he came from a
We'd
rich
be-
family. His dad
Yeah.
owned car dealerships or something like that.
Yeah,
you know
yeah.
what I'm
His
saying?
dad had money, you know. That's obviously beneficial, you know what I'm saying. But like, nonetheless, he was like when he first came out, he had a high top fade. I don't know if you've ever seen them pictures.
It was
He
a
had
high top, no fade.
Man, he signed with Jive. Too Short produced his record.
Right.
He toured with Ice Cube.
This is in the first
Yeah,
run when it
these
just
squares
really
This
go.
go.
1990,
Yeah.
man. 1990.
I think it was the 89
And was
or
he?
something
Do you
like
guys
that.
remember when he
Yeah.
was popping as a DJ too?
Oh,
yeah,
yeah.
later,
Okay.
yeah, he became.
He
a
was
DJ.
he was down with Doc Brown,
But-
seeing the black man, these dudes in Detroit, you know what I'm
These 2
saying?
rappers, yeah, dudes. He had like a whole crew, like in Mount Clemens, you know, which is about 40 miles outside of Detroit. Anyway, Kid Rock was like, you know, he was the one dude that was getting in. The other dude, Esham the Unholy. You ever heard of him?
I've
Yeah.
heard of Esham the Unholy.
Iconic,
He was running
hands
Detroit.
down, iconic genius. No question about it.
And how big? How big?
Esham and his brother,
he ran
bigger than
everything.
Kid Rock.
Yo.
Esham and his brother were, Esham would come out on stage. Okay, this is when the Ghetto Boys were out.
Right.
You know, like the early shit. That Rick Rubin
Yeah,
ended up
like-
remaking the album.
Yeah,
Right,
this
right.
this is like, and this is the Ghetto Boys like pre Willie D and Scarface.
And
you
we're
know
not
what
talking
I'm saying?
about Mind of a Lunatic or
Right.
Mind Playing Tricks on Me. We're talking about Mind of a Lunatic. We're talking about fuck them, fuck them up. You know, that early shit like where Bushwick's literally rapping about raping a bitch. You know,
Right.
like
Hardcore shit.
insanely hardcore, right? And Esham came out and one up that. Esham was rapping about the devil. Like he straight up would come out on stage in a coffin and have 666 on his shirt. You know, 6 and a 6 or 666. The devil's in the mix. Da-da-da-da-da, with the crucifix. Like you were just like, oh, I thought me and my boy thought the sky turned red when we played Esham. I didn't even want. I had a collection of all Detroit rap. Anything that was ever pressed up, I wouldn't have an Esham tape in my collection. They were
Too much
first of all, the
devil shit.
cassettes were red.
Yeah.
Yo, it's
much
hilarious to
devil
think.
shit.
It's hilarious to think of ICP being scared of a kind of hip hop.
Man, that's what because he was killing it. Like you had to think, man, is he really like that? You know what
See,
I'm saying?
but check it out
And
before
his
you get
voice,
too into
his
that.
voice would scare the shit out of you, man.
Yeah,
It
this is
sounded like the
before
devil.
any rapper was doubling their voice or anything, and everybody used to always wonder, yo, how the fuck does he sound like that? You know what I'm saying? How's he get that effect on his voice? You know?
Because he was laying
found
on
it,
vocals.
figured it
And
all
check
out
it out.
later.
On our first record, when we got him on there, you know what I'm saying? Which is before people did features, you know what I'm saying? We got him on there. We couldn't figure out how the fuck he did it. So we tried to
We
put
had
some
awesome-
effects on it, you know what I'm saying?
It's interesting to hear you guys talk too, because in the early 90s, every region, as hip hop started to really blow up, right? And people were able to get drum machines and things in their house and record more efficiently. Every region has an underground that people that weren't there
Don't
Oh,
know
no
about
doubt,
in
no
detail.
doubt, yeah.
Right.
You know, the Bay has an underground, LA has
check
an
it out.
underground,
Check
Texas
this out.
has an underground, the
but-
South.
Yeah, before you get too into that, like you gotta understand in Detroit, and especially in the early '90s, you know, when Kid Rock and Esham were like the big local dogs, you know what I'm saying? there was like two ways in Detroit. You know what I'm saying? There was like the hip hop shop freestyle clique. You know what I'm saying? They were battling like
That's
the
where
Eminem
came
and
from,
all those
Proof
dudes
and all them dudes.
We didn't know shit about that.
We didn't even know that
because we
that
took
place
the other route.
existed. We
no
were
clue.
straight
People like us and people like
hustling.
Esham and stuff like that.
Selling.
precious shit. Precious shit.
yeah.
Don't wait to get signed.
We took that road where
You know,
like we didn't fuck with that. You know what I'm saying? We never went to the clubs. We never, stood around
we never
circles rapping and all
freestyle.
that.
What's the point of freestyle?
We would
What's
just
that?
push
We're
it
trying-
out.
we pace
Hit the
style.
record
You know what I'm
store,
saying?
slam.
Press it up.
Freestyle. Remember that back
Straight
in the
up,
day?
man. Like,
remember that in the 90s?
you
Be
know,
like, fuck a freestyle,
don't
pace style.
Why are you trying to get signed when you can do it
Right,
yourself?
the freestylers would like try to get put on. You know what I'm saying? They would try to like hopefully somebody come scoop them up. You know what I'm saying? And then you had the other side that were making it happen by themselves.
And in my world in Northern Cali, that was the E40s and the
No
Two
doubt.
No
Shores
doubt,
and
no
that
doubt,
whole thing,
absolutely. And Esham and his brother, they're moving 100,000 units, driving around in Mercedes Benz and shit. Like we're just like, man. We went to one of their in stores. They walked in leather jackets with the devil logo. We were in awe of them, man. We were just like,
So
and they were doing it all independently. No label would even fuck with them. First of all, they had 20,000 samples on every song. It was just all done brilliantly.
So
man.
did you guys know post wrestling and understanding your market in Detroit that clown posse, like that kind of, because culturally there is a fixation with clowns, right? Like there are people who are afraid of them, there are
It
people who
wasn't us.
love them.
No, it wasn't
Like
us.
what was the motivation behind going? that route?
Nothing to do with being in the clowns. Nothing. You know what I'm saying? That didn't even play a factor. You know what I'm saying?
I'll tell you. It's a lot of different factors of how we became clowns, but we were never into gore.
Right.
We were never into horror movies. We didn't read Fangora. It wasn't our shit. We're not into blood splatter. But Detroit rap was what we were into. You know what I mean? And Detroit rap was on some other. What they were doing on the West Coast, what they were doing on the East Coast. Well, where we lived, they were doing theatrics. They were doing outrageous characters. You know what I mean? That's what was getting over. The other dude before them was Awesome Dre.
I remember
and we
Awesome Dre.
worshipped Awesome Dre.
yeah.
We had Awesome Dre on the way down to the studio to do a feature.
Wow.
This
on our
this
first
one,
album.
Dre wasn't. He was on
He
his
was on
way
his
down.
way down.
You know what I'm saying? He wasn't
But
on priority no
he,
more.
He
and
was
all that.
coming to the studio to do a feature, and Esham was there at the studio. And Esham was like, "How much you giving Dre?" We were like, 500. He was like, "I'll do the verse for 500 right now." We were like, "Dre, we lost the reels." He was like, "What?"
We lost the reels. How you gonna lose some reels?
Wait, but why? You
not
wanted
a foul,
Esham more
right?
because he was
Esham
Esham
was
was
legend,
killing it. Esham
legend.
was, we
and
were
we just
like,
happened to bump into him at the studio.
We
were
wanted
at.
Awesome Dre on a record, not because we thought it would help us sell, because he was an icon
we loved
to
him,
us.
right.
You know what
Right,
I'm saying?
right.
But Esham was like,
You saw it as also a business opportunity.
Word
in
up,
addition to it.
absolutely.
Right, right.
and Esham was just fire. Talented, like murderous on the mic, like just brilliant.
So
Like I
did that
said,
end up influencing you guys?
that completely influenced Psychopathic Records. Our entire operation is blueprinted from
Is he
real
now-
life
from-
productions.
And did he eventually sign to Psychopathic Records?
Yes.
Eventually, later, yeah.
So this-
because his brother went to prison and his operation kind of, had trouble. But and he was on his own. You know what I'm saying? His brother was like his manager.
So you eventually got to sign the guy who really is the reason you guys became what you became.
yeah, and once we became national, we gave back that love.
That's dope.
dope.
Man. That's a really dope story.
We
Now-
still give it today. We sometimes we don't even talk for years. We fall out. But
Battle like
I love him,
motherfuckers,
man.
you
He's
know?
like a brother, man. I
So,
love him.
and in there is where you guys just a second ago, Violent J, you referenced our convo with Tech Nine. I think in that convo, I was like, Tech Nine was one of the original guys doing theatrics on stage, and I'm sure that.
Yeah, there's a lot we can say, and I love Tech. Tech
Right.
is a
Yeah,
gentleman,
yo, straight
always
up.
respectable.
Coolest guy you ever want to meet, man.
Tech Nine, 2.5 years ago, right before Hood Go Crazy came out, I went and saw Tech Nine. I didn't have my paint on. I'm hiding up in the balcony at St. Andrews Hall. It's a small venue. It only holds 1,000.
I
It
didn't
was-
have my paint on. Sounds so crazy, right?
Yeah,
Like,
Right,
I
and I'm
wasn't-
just up there with my homie, right?
Playing
And it was like all juggalos because there's only 1,000 people. So people that buy tickets first for Tech are juggalos, and I'm just hiding like behind some people, and somehow Tech saw me in the balcony. You know what I'm saying? I seen him double take me. You know what I'm saying? And after he finished the song, he was like, "Yo, I want to say something, just so everybody knows, none of us would be in this building right now if it wasn't for that man up there, Joe Bruce." Called me by my real name, And I was so immensely flattered. He said that. I can't even. I get chills thinking about it. Like, it's just overwhelming to me that he said that. But and I'm not necessarily saying that's true, because he's incredibly, amazingly talented, and I think he would have got on regardless. But the route he took makes that particular statement true that night.
In the, the independence and the theatrics and the movement.
Well, and the juggalos in the house.
And the fan base.
And the fan base. Now, our problem is when Tech said, when you guys asked him, was your company blueprinted from ICP's company, which is Psychopathic Records? Bing.
Right.
You know, the most recognizable juggalo logo. And he said, you know, I think Travis was more influenced by No Limit Records. That wasn't being truthful, man. You know what I'm saying? I love Tech. I'm not on here dissing him.
No, that's our boy. You know what I'm saying? It's just we gotta set some of the stuff straight. Right?
Not for our props.
No.
For the juggalos. Okay?
Because we gotta understand that juggalos is what we do this for.
We don't care about props.
We don't care about mainstream.
And just for the audience, I learned. So the world that you're speaking of, I'm a complete outsider.
Okay, we're gonna push you up on it right now.
Right. So juggalos are
they started out in the 90s. 95, I think they started using the term 94, maybe. Juggalo. They named themselves that.
And
you know
these are your fans.
These are our
ICP fans.
That's right. We signed our first group in 98, and we bulldozed them in the side door. Like at first, people were just like, what? 2 more guys painted up? Fuck this. For a long time, it took everything we had to get them on, right? We bulldozed them in the side door till Juggalos started loving them, and then they did because they were hella good, you know? And
who was that group?
That was a group called Twisted.
Okay.
All right? And they're still around today. They run their own label now, you know? And, you know.
So this became a community. The Juggalos became a whole thing.
Today,
right. It evolved into something crazy. It
evolved into some shit that is not even respected, and that's what's so foul, man.
Wait.
It's not only respected.
Hold on, Jay. You jumped way fast.
Okay, all right. Okay,
for me and maybe the audience.
Okay, I'm sorry.
So the Juggalos was created by fans of Insane
ICP,
Clown Posse.
That's right. That's where they started. They came from a term we used to say on our records. I'm a juggalo. You know.
Which you understand too, and the more hated we became, you know what I'm saying, mainstream culture and whatnot, you know what I'm saying, the more hated juggalos became.
Then they became known as inbred, morons.
Okay, so now there is a gathering of the Juggalos. That's
right.
a festival that you
this
guys
year will be the 18th annual.
July
We'll talk about
26th
that
to the
too.
29th. We'll
the
get
18th annual one.
And I've heard that it is as crazy as it sounds.
I never heard of no raw dog line. All right, there might have been a girl there that let 3 dudes hit it. I don't know about that.
Danny Brown told us
that,
but
that happened at Summer Jam. So
yeah, don't even worry about that. Summer Jam is the same thing in the parking lot.
Just to talk about that like that, that's not going down at the
so okay,
any festival we go to is going to be a chick in a train ran on her.
Drug Bridge ain't been here 5 years, man.
Got it.
You know, that was something that happened at a place we were at that we used to run a gathering at in that location.
And that was their location, and they did that.
That's what they did, and it don't happen.
And there was no police allowed on there, you know what I'm saying? So, like, you know, some kids that weren't even juggalos or nothing,
that want to get high, let them get high.
Shop.
Right. So let's go back though. So you felt that Tech's assessment of their influence, of Travis's influence coming from No Limit, when you think, in fact, you know that it came from Psychopathic more than No Limit.
I know for a fact that
1000%.
Strange Music came out in 1999. Strange Music, Psychopathic Records. You use your own judgment if you think there's a similarity. But what I'll tell you is that Travis told my manager himself, we've read your book 4 times. 4 times, all right? Trying to figure this thing out. This is on their come up. Now, I don't know what he would have to gain by gassing our manager up, saying that. I don't know why he would say something like that, what benefit he's trying to gain out of gassing ICP's manager up, you know. But they absolutely got some love. Tech started receiving some love in Kansas City, all right? He wasn't doing much of anything for most part of his career, all right? Then all of a sudden, I think Angelic came out, and even the cover of Angelic, where he's got his back to the crowd and he took a picture, is a photo we did about 3 years earlier. You know what I'm saying? Same exact thing. We're standing like this with our back to the crowd. I'm not, man.
That we came out with as a poster.
I know that I'm trying. I know I'm sounding like I'm dissing Tech, man, and I love Tech. This is
you just
sincere.
want clarity
for the Juggalos,
right?
I don't give a fuck about us.
And also, I think it's interesting too because the reason I brought up the underground of different regions, right, is because I would be pressed. Maybe Rosenberg, you know somebody who understands the nuances of the underground regionally. Right?
Everywhere?
Everywhere.
No. That's only
Like,
people who
because
know
I
that
don't
shit. Only like Europeans and Japanese people have studied it that much to understand it.
'Cause I'm
Americans,
looking-
we're in our own bubble. We don't understand
Because
it.
somebody in hip hop needs to actually, and maybe it's done, and maybe somebody watching this can point me in the right direction. Because there's a world in 1990, like if you were in hip hop in 1990, as things really started to blossom,
Right.
and there was record label money, people were doing independent sales.
James Smith would rap a lot. He was killing it. James Smith and Rap a Lot were killing it. That's who I believe Real Life Productions are.
Knows those underground-
Esham and Real Life and his brother James. I believe they blueprinted their foundation off
Rap a Lot.
Real Life.
Rap a Lot.
Rap a Lot.
Rap
What am
a
I
Lot.
saying? What the fuck am I saying? Rap a Lot. You know.
But anyway, to
Ghetto
bring
Boys.
that, and I think for what I hear
And we
you guys saying
blueprinted our
is,
shit off Esham.
well, and what I hear you guys saying is just for the historical kind of chronological order of events of clarity, more
Especially what we call the wicked shit, which is where you're rapping totally free to say whatever the fuck you want, any way you want, and you're not worried about radio,
Right.
MTV, none of that shit. Fuck
no
it.
politics.
No politics. You say whatever you want, even if you make a corny, soft butterfly song, or you're killing a motherfucker with an axe. Whatever you want to say.
Whatever you're feeling, you make.
Right.
Yeah.
And do you feel that tech, and you feel tech is sort of part of that as well?
Absolutely, he is,
Yeah,
man.
he said he goes crazy.
Yeah.
He goes crazy.
I didn't know it had a name. I just motherfuckers be saying crazy.
We
That's
call
what
it
we
the
call
wicked
it.
shit,
What about motherfuckers be saying crazy shit?
Yeah, same thing. Same
Same
thing.
shit.
That's all in the same
Gravediggers
umbrella,
did
man.
it. Gravediggers
Yeah.
did it.
Yes.
Flatliners
People
did
call
it.
it horrorcore.
But
Yes.
by then, shit, man, Ghetto Boys were the first to ever, the original Ghetto Boys.
Right.
1989. They had a whole album. There was one song on that album doing the wicked shit, and that was written by Prince Johnny C, the first artist. I studied it to ever go off and say anything he wants was Prince Johnny C when he wrote the song Assassins. All right?
Right.
Which
Of
the
course-
Ghetto
of course
Boys
you had
later.
Schoolie D
But
or
now that was
whatever,
the
but-
hit.
But he wouldn't go to
that
that
was
level.
gangster rap, though. That was gangster rap.
That was gangster. He was just cursing. You know what I'm saying?
Which was crazy at the
PSK,
time.
Right.
That was crazy.
Yeah.
Right? That flipped Ice-T's wig, 6 a.m. came out. Again,
Right.
that's gangster rap, though. That's reality.
Right,
I'm
so it's a
talking
little
about-
different than
Right.
Wicked, which
Which
is
is a
saying
little bit the wicked
a
shit.
little
Whatever.
more-
Wicked shit is like
Right.
incorporating horror, bizarre.
Now, I want to stop right there because I think in reading your guys' bio before this interview, I got to understand that there's something cathartic and therapeutic in what you guys have created.
Yeah.
In
world,
I'll
the
tell you
world
that.
in
I-
the world that it's far from me, so I want you to try to
can
articulate.
I finish that and then
Yeah.
I'll get right to that. Like, what I was saying was, horrorcore started with Prince Johnny C when he wrote Assassins, and that was the big hit for that version of the Ghetto Boys. They kind of fell apart. Prince Johnny C was like, I don't want to rap like that no more. So James Smith, who owned Rap A Lot Records, kept Bushwick and got two other dudes, Scarface
And Willie D.
Willie D, and had them do a whole album like that because that was the big hit.
Wow.
And then they did a whole
Mind of a
album of it.
Lunatic,
Told
all
them,
that stuff.
told them
Right.
get in there, man. Kill it like Assassins on every song.
Why'd they get rid of the original dudes?
Because Prince Johnny C didn't want to
He
rap
didn't want
like
to do
that
that.
no
He didn't
more.
want to do it no
He was
more.
just over it. Okay.
Yeah, and the other guy, I don't know. But the other guy was Reddy Red. And Reddy Red was in the original lineup of the four. If you look on the cover, it's a black and white cover, and they're all in mugshots.
Yes. On the
Reddy
newspaper?
Red, Bushwick, Willie D, Scarface.
Right.
This is the new version of the Ghetto Boys. Reddy Red and Bushwick were already in the original. But Prince Johnny C was like a premier member of it. And he quit. And, James Smith put Willie D and Scarface and said, you're all doing the wicked shit. Now, they didn't call it the wicked shit. I don't know.
Right.
I don't know what he called it.
By the way, this is
term
one of the
wicked
saying some
shit came
crazy
from
shit on
Esham.
record.
Exactly. This is one of the reasons I wanted to have you guys up here too. Is one of my favorite things in hip hop is when there's so many offshoots of it. And like Ebro said, we're not juggalos, don't fully understand everything. But I just love that from every different world, you guys are as knowledgeable and appreciative
Well,
of
and
the
it
origins
also-
of the culture.
Hell yeah,
I'll
man.
I'll say this too, and it also reminds me and resets for the audience and people who haven't followed all the nooks and crannies and nuances of hip hop, how the new crazy shit that we see kids and we're like, oh, this is crazy shit, this mumble rap or this, that, and the da-da-da-da-da-da, whatever the fuck people are pissed about for the day, right? Is that hip hop has always
Had
been
that new crazy shit.
creative.
Man,
and
everybody
pushing.
hated NWA and Ice
Yeah.
Cube
Right.
and them when they came out. What are they talking that shit for, man? All that violence.
And, yo, and straight up, the people
always
that
hates the new shit.
the people that hate the shit coming out now that the kids are liking are just like our parents back in the
Yeah,
day
same
hating on our
shit.
music.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? So
And their
you gotta
parents, hating on Elvis and
right.
the Beatles.
What's
for
that
having
rock
long
and roll
hair,
shit
you know?
you're listening
It's
to?
literally
I need
over.
some swing
People
music.
don't realize how over and over again this happens. So back to what Ebro was saying. What do you guys think the role that you play in people's lives and the Juggalo world? What do you think that like plays in people's lives emotionally? It seems like people have a real emotional attachment to what you do.
Well, okay. So anyway, okay, that's done.
Yo,
Yeah.
straight up, like
that's where the wicked shit came
like
from.
the Juggalos are it's
to say you're a clown, to be free to have whatever you want to say and not give a fuck, like we were saying yesterday
yeah.
about Justin Bieber.
Yeah, word up. Yeah.
You know.
It's like, all right, yeah, be clowns, you know what I'm saying? We can come on stage, slip, bust our ass. You know what I'm saying? Off the rip. You know what I'm saying? People are going to be like, oh, whatever.
Who cares?
But it keeps going.
Fun, the wild style.
Come on, man.
Justin
Bieber comes out and slips his, busts his ass. It's on TMZ. It's on, you know what I'm saying? It's on everything.
So
you
there's
know?
a freedom. There's a freedom.
straight up, dog.
freedom. The freedom to rap about not having money. The
Right.
freedom to rap about being a
Rap
fat
about
ass.
being a scrub, you know
being
what I'm saying?
broke, coming up on fucking
How we came up, you know
food
what I'm saying?
stamps, powdered milk, block cheese, bragging about it, like owning it. Like, this is me, fuck you. You know, a lot of people relate to that. I mean, probably way more than don't.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? And
They ain't all
they
about
hear
being
you
fresh all the
saying
time,
that
you
shit.
know?
They hear that shit. They connect to that. They know they're not alone. A lot of people feel like they're outcasts.
Right.
Even
the Juggalo
even people
world-
with privilege. A lot of people feel like they're outcasts. They don't belong to nothing happening at their school or at their college or whatever. They're just not a part of the way that school of fish are swimming. And when they hear something like us, they're like, damn, I'm not alone. And that's where the euphoria comes when you're at a show. This is the birth of the Juggalo family because you're with all these people that relate to you.
You can
know,
you
that's
can go
where the term family came.
right.
They
You can
chant
go
family.
by yourself, you know what I'm saying? Somebody has no friends on the outside world. You know what I'm saying? It's an outcast, a scrub, a bum, whatever the fuck. You know what I'm saying? Can go to one of our shows and I guarantee you he's gonna leave with at least 10 homies. You know what I'm saying? That's the kind of camaraderie.
Marriages
that's
come out of
shit,
it.
you know?
Marriages, friendships, everything, man. Beautiful. Reporters, they Village Voice, everybody, man. Every newspaper, magazine has been to the gathering. They're all like, man, my friends warned me I'm gonna get killed, I'm gonna get lynched, I'm gonna get raped. They're gonna beat
I
me
never heard
down for
anything
not
like
being
that.
one of them. And all they do is come back and say, man,
There was love.
camaraderie, the love.
I've never heard violent negativity. I just heard drugs and sex lines.
The only violent negativity that we can't deny was what happened to Tila Tequila, and that's because we fucked up.
What happened?
They bombarded her with shit. They didn't want to see a mainstream artist up at the gathering like that.
Not so much a mainstream, but like
and was on
Tequila,
Twitter.
come on, man.
Oh, she was kind of like internet goofy or something.
and it's spelling clowns with a K. She don't know where the fuck she's at, what the fuck she's doing. You know
So
what I'm saying?
it is a sensitive group. You
Let
got
me
to
tell
know
you
what
something.
you gotta know
you
what
got to
you're
pay
doing.
Some of
homage to
our
Juggalos.
favorites.
When he's there. You got to know
So-
what you're playing.
You have
what
to
I'm saying?
know what you're at. You have to respect where you're at. Like, so many of our favorites have come to the gathering and got booed off. Too Short. What? That's because he didn't do his homework about what he was performing at.
Well,
And
do you try to tell people?
Man, hell yeah. We send letters, everything, videos, everything.
A lot of times
so
we're
is
able
that
to.
why-
I'll sit down and
or
talk
we
with
go
them, you know what
to
I'm
them
saying?
directly.
Yeah,
Like, we
be
went
like,
to
"Look,
Ice
man."
Cube first day. We love Ice Cube's my favorite MC ever. I went right to Cube, right in his bus, him and Dub C, and I said, look, 2 minutes. Gave him a rundown. He went out there and said the things exactly like I told him. And now he's been back several times killing it. You know what I'm saying?
So is that why when I was also in your bio, it was like police have tried to shut down the gathering?
man,
and
there's
some,
things
like,
you don't know, man.
shit.
No doubt,
Gang
yeah.
shit. What?
So
The
what
gang
is that?
shit, like,
What
this
is
is what
that?
you guys said that had me irked, man. You said, it's mostly white kids at the gathering. That's why they get away with it. Get away with it? Get
Well,
away with it?
No, I said that because I've never heard of a place that police aren't allowed to go.
Let me ask you
That was
something
the
else. And that
campground.
might be true because it's mostly white kids. I don't know about
That's
that.
somebody with some money. I don't know no black families that own some shit.
Right, so
that
we
are
don't
gonna
know
have
that.
a
So we don't know that.
festival. Yeah.
But I understand what you're saying, absolutely.
Yeah.
But I will tell you this: get away with it. Has this ever happened in any hip hop or rock and roll or fucking music? Period. Juggalos were listed in 2011 among the top 10 gangs of the United States. The
Straight
FBI
up
put out
stamped
a
it by
list.
the FBI. Bam.
Put out a list one time in 2011. Top 10 gangs in the United States: Crips, Bloods, MS-13, Aryan
man.
Nation, Juggalos, and
Sylvanias, all that, you
You're
know
like,
what I'm saying?
what? You know what I'm saying? Instantly.
And what was that based in? Do you guys even know?
I'll tell you in a minute. Where's that book at? You got that book? Look, this book came out. This is a book. Has nothing to do with us, man. This is in bookstores everywhere. This ain't got shit to do with us. We didn't put this out. This is by a well-respected journalist, Steve Miller. I couldn't even finish it, man. I had panic attacks reading that motherfucker.
Why? Because it's
because
wrong?
it's full of facts. It's not opinions. It's facts.
It's like we knew the outside surface, but woo,
how being on that gang list is fucking lives up and totally incredibly fucked up.
There's
man.
people getting kicked out the
Wait,
army.
hold on.
People
You're
losing
saying
their family.
is the book truthful or not?
It's 100%
facts.
factual.
It's
not
not
truthful.
about
Factual.
And what is the basis of the book?
Being on putting the juggalos on a gang list is preposterous, man. And
if you got a hatchet
lingering
man
effects,
tattoo on you,
the
you're
next
in a gang.
year, the
Wait,
next
say
year,
it again. Say it
If you got a hatchet man tattoo on you,
you're
in a
driving
gang.
in a car in some
That's
friendly
it.
suburb, right? You're driving in a car. There's 4 of you. You get pulled over. Everybody in the car's wearing this shit. You know what I mean?
You're all going on the
T-shirts,
gang.
whatever.
That's it.
You're entered
You're
into
going
a
on the gang list.
database, a gang database. All right. Once you're in that database,
Oh yeah, you fucked.
this is truth.
But that's just like kids walking around the hood that all have red Washington.
It's a gang. Now,
Washington
especially-
Nationals hats
check
on.
it out
in
though.
A gang, you know
if
what I
you
mean?
let's say you're policing Cornfield, Nebraska, right? And you got some dudes hanging out in the park, 10 of them barbecuing, wearing the same shit, right? Gang, you know?
Yep.
Because if you can say that there's a gang in your city, you get extra funding from the government.
Facts. That is facts.
And that's what it's all about, man. That's why they
and you get that military. They give you that
smarter than
military
man. They ain't
equipment.
stupid. You
Yeah,
can
no
compete at juggalos, man. We ain't no
Let me
gang.
see the book. They give you that military equipment, them tanks.
Now,
and all that.
real quick, back to the music side for some people who may not be super.
And that's my point was that we ain't getting away with shit, man. They put us on a gang list,
Yo.
man. Try to make being a juggalo against the law in a lot of states,
Like
man.
this year, we just now got a place for the gathering because, like, if we do find a place, the little township or whatever, they have the little city meetings. They're like, yo, we don't want no gang rally here.
Or they won't
kick
insure
it out.
it.
And then if we do get it, you know what I'm saying? We do solidify a place. Having somebody insure it is a whole nother ballpark. We can't find nobody doing insure a gang rally for shit. You know what I'm saying?
And the point about tech is this, all right? Juggalos today and when tech came out and ever since, juggalos seek out, discover, embrace, and fully support innovative, eccentric, independent artists. Juggalos are the concrete that Tech Nine's empire sits on today. He knows it.
That was a springboard.
And I feel on this show, he should have gave that love. I feel he should have,
And we know
man.
why he's not. You know
We
what I'm saying?
understand why he's not.
Because he's
Totally.
getting the mainstream success.
He's got all
now.
this success.
He don't want to be
can
linked
say,
to
yeah, man, I
juggalos.
come from
You know what I'm saying?
juggalos. You know, he renamed them technicians. It's like, come on, man. Mad juggalos are upset about that. Like, huh? What?
There's a whole other world.
Yeah, man.
They're not writing about this on Boston.
And like, it just wasn't right that he didn't take this platform like a respected show like this and give it up for what's real. Because juggalos are innovative, supportive people that in bunches support the shit out of you. Rain, snow, don't matter. They're there for you. They love you. They'll support your label. Juggalos, Tech Nine, right? It has nothing to do with us. For years, people thought we put Tech Nine out. You know what I'm saying? He knows it. We didn't have nothing to do with Tech Nine. They targeted the Juggalo audience. He started getting some love in Kansas City. I remember the first time we met him.
And you haven't reached out to Tech.
Huh?
You never reached out to Tech after the convo up here.
No, we didn't lose what?
You didn't reach out to him after
Oh,
the
no,
interview.
I haven't talked to him, no. He changed his number and never gave it to me. You know what I'm saying? Because I was trying to get him to play the March on Washington. Now, you know, that's a different story. But the problem is, you know, I just feel like I don't like it when rappers say one thing in one place, right? And then go somewhere else and not get that kind of love. Like, okay, the tour Tech Nine talked about that we put him on, it was called the Wicked Wonka Tour. It was us, Bone Thugs, Cottonmouth Kings. We asked Tech to be on that tour because he was killing it.
In the juggalo
All right?
world.
And Tech Nine had been having vans follow our tour 4 years, probably.
Something like that. Yeah. From the
Handing
start,
out
from the start of
samplers to
Strange Music.
every juggalo. They targeted juggalos.
knowing that they were open to it and supporting.
Yes.
And they were giving them love already, so they went directly for that.
Yo, Ebro, let me throw you some names of people who have been on Gathering the Juggalos.
But check it out. Hobson. Hobson's got respect, right?
Yeah.
Hobson, born and bred in the Juggalo Garden, brother.
What does that mean?
That means he comes from the Juggalo world.
Okay. I thought
Juggalos
there
were
was
there
like-
for him first.
I thought it was
He
like a
stood on
training
stage-
ground or something. I was
No,
like, what does that mean?
He stood on
so
stage.
many terms, man.
No, he stood on stage at the gathering last year for 10 minutes giving it up to Juggalos. If it wasn't for you, I wouldn't be here. You were the first to embrace me. I love you. I'll always love you.
And always Hobson is a lot of theatrics too.
Yeah,
no doubt.
yeah, he gets
no
it.
From the early days when the
You guys-
contacts and
you
everything.
guys-
And the videos.
But you guys have had Bone Thugs,
Man, we had everybody, man. Every legend.
Oh, Violent J's turned up. Right
Two Live Crew, Necro, of course.
Necro's a beast.
I'm
By
sure
the
they
way,
love
one of
Necro.
one of the hottest rappers ever to grace the
Yo,
mic.
y'all had my man King Gordy, Brother Lynch Hung,
Yeah.
Sacramento, what up?
3-6 Mafia,
Man, people
George
don't know
Clinton.
this, man.
How George Clinton and Parliament played?
We had Bobby Brown at the gathering.
You had Bobby Brown?
Yes.
Yeah, man.
You had Mac 10, you had Digital Underground, you've had Bubba Sparks, Killer Priest, Bushwick Bill, Old Dirty. How'd Old Dirty do it?
He
to
got
you?
booed because he was fucked up, unfortunately, man.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and he kept saying Cleveland because we were like 45 minutes out of Cleveland, and Juggalos come from all over the world.
Right, you
know?
don't give a shit about where
And
you
it's
are.
those are the kind of things that get you
Right, these
now,
are little
check it
things
out.
you can't
Which
do.
really
Take some
sucks seeing somebody like that, you know. Just
I know,
because of
that
a
you
slip
guys
up
love.
Like
Now
that.
Right.
take a couple monsters, right? A couple beasts on the mic. Redman and Meth and Red, right?
Yeah.
They came and played together, and we were so honored to have them, right? They must have made the mistake of saying Cleveland or wherever we at that time.
Yeah, that was-
something and somewhere else, but some nearby city, you know. And kept saying that name. Juggalos kept letting it slide, you know, because they love them. They love Meth and Red, you know. Then Juggalos started chanting family, which means
It's just your shit.
yeah, it means we welcome you. You're one of us. We love you, family.
Family.
You know what I'm
Right,
saying?
right, right.
And one of them said, "Fuck family. This is about hip hop." You know, and it was just like
No.
You know what I'm saying? Juggalos still let it slide. Honestly, like we're like
Because they were like,
they were just shocked, like, whoa, okay, you know what I'm saying? And then toward the end of the set, somebody threw a full beer can and busted Meth in it. One dude, one dickhead, man. One probably drunk asshole threw a full beer that connected, hit Meth in the head, right? We didn't know this. We're in our trailer. They're like, Meth Man wants to see. We're like, oh shit, man. Let's go talk to Meth. This is dope. We walk in there. He's like, what kind of bullshit you got us on, man? What is this shit, man? I'm like, yo, they loved you, man. Look, I'm trying to explain to him, like, despite the mistakes,
Everything was
They
good.
loved you, man. One dickhead, one asshole,
Right, one
threw that
fucking
shit
guy.
at you. You know
Right,
what I'm saying?
which, by the way, can happen. That happens
Right,
in any
anywhere.
How
But
did
like-
how'd Mystical do?
Killed it.
They love Mystical, right?
Yeah.
You guys,
How did Busta Rhymes do?
I was about to ask Busta.
Super.
You guys have had the Far Side.
Tore
You guys,
to
yo, you guys,
pieces, right?
you guys had
He
the fucking.
tore it in half
Yeah,
How did you
Busta's
guys have
great.
the Fat Boys at gatherings?
because we had old school night. You know what I'm saying? You
Right.
know,
Cool Keith, Onyx, Danny Brown, Master P, Raekwon, Swollen Members. I mean, really.
Swollen
Yo, bro,
Members.
they've had above the law.
Swollen members.
You guys had a bubble.
Yo, we're down by law with Hutch,
man,
man.
we had Big Hutch on Psychopathic Records did
Yeah,
an
that's
album.
right,
That's
that's
my
right,
that's
that's
my
right.
dog, man. Hey, Swollen members, you know, Juggalo. You know, I don't know about in Canada. I know they have a lot of love in Canada, but
In the US,
Mad
though.
Child, Juggalos wouldn't be nothing without the Juggalos.
You see, I'm thumbing through this book here.
He'll tell you that though. He's got respect. He-
Insane Clown Posse in the world they made Juggalo that you guys had nothing to do with. This was written by Steve Miller, who's has written about crime and culture and the world at large for over 20 years. You got to know that.
those are researched facts.
Yeah,
You know
yeah.
what I'm
But I was
saying?
just for you guys and anybody watching or any movement, right? Any movement that becomes something that, especially in small town USA, becomes more influential than government officials, schools, right? Clergy members. That's when you get to that. Because I was reading through this, I was like, I've seen this before, where people in small towns and suburbs and mom and dads are like, my kids care more about the Insane Clown Posse than they care about our Christmas.
And that's when they start coming. For
And
you.
that and then the imagery, right? Obviously, for super religious folks, your imagery is, you know, this is devil worship, right? Right? Axes and clown face. That's where it came from.
Yeah, no doubt.
And then you throw in just kids partying and having a good time. And it's easy to throw the gang tag on it. That's really what got you. And I'm not making an excuse for it. I'm just trying to
everybody
rationalize
wearing
it
the
for
same,
myself.
Everybody wearing the
And
same. There
everybody
are
wearing the
people
same
whose
logo.
There's people whose profession it is, whose career it is right now to fly around the country and give seminars to law enforcement agencies about juggalo detection.
Come on.
I'm not
Straight up.
Some
100%.
some of them are former
Craziest
juggalos.
thing ever, man.
So,
Yeah,
yeah,
word
let
up.
me ask you guys.
I escaped the juggalos.
Right,
Yes.
right.
Let me
Yeah,
ask
like
you.
we're
Let me ask you
Mormon
guys.
shits or something.
In your opinion, in looking at your audience and your family, right?
Yeah.
Do you? Because anytime there's a threat of violence, drugs, any of that, some sort of civil disobedience, right? It's easy to go and throw that tag in. Do you guys acknowledge that some of these things do take place with fans and family?
Yes,
but
yes,
that's any
absolutely.
culture.
There are
That's
all
what-
kinds of.
Come on, man.
Well, most
Jack the
juggalos
Ripper
are
probably
from-
listen to Beethoven or something. You know what I'm saying? Come on. What kind of crimes have Willie Nelson's fans committed over the years?
Crazy
you know
ass
what I'm saying?
rednecks. What about
Come
Dolly
on.
Parton's pedophile fans? We don't know how many there
Look,
are.
I was told.
You know
I
what
was
I'm
told.
saying?
We do
She
I've
summer
sold
heard,
jam.
millions
I've
of
heard there's a
records.
big community
We do
of the
summer
Dolly
jam
Parton
every year
pedophile
out
fans.
here in New York, right? I was told, what's the guy? Kenny Chesney. I was told that Kenny Chesney concerts are more violent
Yes.
Hell
than
yeah.
hip hop shows.
No,
hands
they had
down.
just done that before Summer Jam. They said the Kenny Chesney, whoever tour it was, whoever he was with,
No,
I
every
forget.
time, bro. Not one time.
Yeah,
every time.
that their
No
tour is
doubt.
a
Just
disaster.
big-ass pickup
basically.
trucks.
Yo, probably
Fat
like in like
tires on
2004, something like that, 2005, something like that. I went to Joe Louis Arena downtown Detroit. It was like a big ass old school rock, you know what I'm saying? It was like Journey and Styx and like a bunch of dudes like that. I never seen so much shit pop off at a concert in my life, over any rap concert I've ever been attended or been a
Well,
part
nah,
of.
we not getting our
I never
sneakers
seen
dirty.
so much violence. It was just like fight after fight. It was police getting stabbed
But
outside.
I can
it
brag-
was crazy, man. You know what I'm saying? This is at a Journey concert. You know
I
what
can
I'm saying?
tell you one thing, though. You won't see no fights at a juggalo show.
Straight up, not one.
And if you see one, it's
either
between
between
a
security-
vendor or a
Right.
hating security guard.
There's
'Cause
never juggalos fighting
Ain't no
each other.
fights at the gathering, that's for sure. Not one fight. Man, you
It
juggalos love each
it was
other, man.
publicized a few years back. There was a stabbing at the gathering. You know
Then
what I'm
there
saying?
was between two fucking hot dog
Right.
vendors.
Somebody was undercutting other guy's
But by the
price on
time
hot
they hit
dogs.
the
He got
press,
stabbed.
by the time it hit the press, stabbing at the gathering. You know what I'm saying? Come on, man.
What's how often do you guys paint your faces? Like out of the days?
Every
360?
day, every day. Listen,
Literally, hold on, literally every day?
every day.
Like you live this.
When
usually
I'm at
something we
home
gotta do.
with my kids, I got to think before I scratch my face. Am I painted? Oh, all right, I'm good. You know,
Like,
like,
you're
it's
in
just
this.
so-
You live this.
Yes.
Half of our life,
I
at
feel
least,
naked
you
without
know?
it, man. I feel like I ain't right.
And how often will you go out in public? Like you said, you went to the tech show. How often will you go out with nothing on? If you're trying to be low key,
If I'm on a date or something, I ain't got no paint on. You know what I mean?
right?
Right, we're about to go to the airport after this. You can't get on a plane with paint on your face. You know what I'm
Have
saying?
you tried that before?
No.
Maybe back in the day.
Yeah, before
To learn
9/11,
that you
maybe.
can't.
Yeah,
before-
but it's
Oh,
not
it is.
before
By the way, it is a funny thing that you can't do at the airport. Like really, what is the problem?
Face
Because
paint.
they can't
face
see that
paint.
who you are.
Oh, they can't see who you are.
One more
for
point I
us,
wanted to make about juggalos, okay? Juggalos had such a, and man, you know, I pray tech don't take this wrong, because our goal is for juggalos, to big up juggalos and make people more aware of what they are, the subculture they are, the hip hop loving, embracing, and supporting subculture they are. That tour tech said that people were turning their backs. I don't remember none of that, you know. But I remember
the quote. I don't remember the
he
quote.
said everybody
Yeah.
turned their backs to him the first three cities in Cleveland,
And then they
till he
warmed
started
up.
ripping it. Then they turned around. Tech
They were
was
already
invited
bu-
on
they were
that
already
tour
buying
because
his
he
shit.
was white hot. He was killing it.
Mm-hmm.
That's why he was asked to be on that tour, and he killed it every night, as far as I know. You know, and
I didn't even know we had covered
But
something
you
that
know
was so
what did shock me?
impassioned in the juggalo
Well, because
world.
know
we
what-
talk
you know
about
what?
specific things and we don't realize that the fans of those specific things.
and that's why you
are
should
impacted.
give it up, man. Like I am Eshawn,
Yeah.
like we are, man.
And you know, we don't expect him to, like, you know, saying the whole interview, yo, juggalo this, juggalo that, but at least one time, give it up. You
give
know
it
what I'm
up
saying?
to
At least
Juggalo.
one
Say,
time.
yeah, man.
you know?
And why not
But he
say
spoke positively of the.
he absolutely
No
did,
doubt,
but
no doubt.
he totally.
What is the Violent J?
Well, let me just
what
say
is
this.
the
Let me just-
nuance? What is the nuance? There's a because you even said I tell artists specifically what to say to make sure that they embrace the juggalo
Meaning,
family.
when you're
What
out
is
there,
that?
when you're on stage, if you hear 10,000 people saying woo woo, it could sound like boo. You know, just putting them up on that, and what the family chant means. You know,
Fam-
and
they just fam-
family,
not telling
family.
them what to say. You know what I'm saying? Not telling them, yo, go out, say this, go out, say
It's
that.
say- but tell
what
them,
to expect.
tell
And
them
if you do
these
say these things,
people
you'll
are
get
from
over it.
all over the country, all over the world. This is not Cleveland. You know what I'm saying? These people from everywhere traveled from all coasts, and they're juggalos. They're called juggalos. And
so
this
don't
is
worry
what
about
it
the
is.
city you're in. Worry about the fact that
and
everyone's
if they throw
juggalos.
shit, they're not throwing shit at you. They just throw shit.
They're just
They throw it
geek.
at each other. They throw it in the air. Some of it comes to the stage. You'll know if they're throwing it at you.
Right.
You know what I mean? So don't get.
What are the biggest things
Look
that
at
are said?
Waka Flocka, man. He came out. Everybody pre-ham was like, oh, man, Waka's going to get it. I don't know why they were saying that, but they were. Waka went out there.
Oh, he knows.
Owned it.
I've never seen Waka not rip,
Waka's
by the way. I've
legendary
never seen him
now.
But by the way, Rock is perfect.
They love him now.
Now, Shaggy, you have a solo album
Yes, sir.
coming out soon.
Yeah. Actually, I got to turn it in today. It comes out May 26th. And it's my second one. Last one that came out was like in 2006, something like that. So it's been a minute. You know what I'm saying? I've been grinding hard, man.
Can you guys also on that? Can you run back what the issue with Eminem was back in the day?
It was just local stuff, man.
Detroit
Yeah.
shit.
Yeah,
Detroit
he
shit.
came.
Now it's like some high school beef that, you know what I'm saying?
I
It's
just
like,
all I
didn't-
know
as
is
a kid, I was like, they don't like each other.
You know, any kind
No,
of.
it used to be real. It
Right
used to be
before
real
he,
shit.
right before he passed, Proof came at us. You know, I love this so much, man. Proof came at us in Detroit and was like, you know, we're squashing all the beefs that we had back in the day, and we want to squash the beef. And the fact that he thought of us to include us, you know, because we have no respect. We're not stupid. You know what I'm saying? We know people don't have no respect for us and hip. I was going to ask you guys, are we hip hop? You know, just wonder what y'all would say. Because I know
mean,
we're
to
not
me-
included. I know we can pick up, I say it everywhere I go, we can pick up an encyclopedia of rock that covers every brand of music, reggae, country, rap, anything, jazz, blues, rock, and flip to the eyes, and we ain't in there. We sold 13 million records. We're not even in there. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Wait, so finish the Proof thing, and I want to get
okay.
to that about what you being
But
considered hip hop.
Proof had enough respect for us to come to us and say, I want to squash the beef. You know what I'm saying? And we were just we were amazed by that, you know?
Right, we were just like, yo, of
we
course.
Went, we went and had a bowling match that night. It was D12
That's so
versus
Detroit.
Psychopathic.
Let's go bowling.
Let's go bowling, right? That's what they suggested. I was like, hell yeah, that's so cool, right? Then we went to St. Andrews, hung out, drank beers. It was just
And so you went- and
the
you-
2 days I spent with Proof were so heartwarming. Oh, and the one thing we made sure we did, you know, before we even got there, we said nobody asked shit about M. Does M know you're here? Does M know you're doing this? Because you know what? Proof's acknowledgement of us was
Is enough.
plenty.
Right.
We don't really care if M knew. You know what I'm saying? We were like, Proof's here. This is dope. You know what I'm saying? And we showed them all, and he even rapped on Twisted's song, name dropped ICP. Just blew our mind, man.
Oh, that's awesome.
Wait, why would you ask us if we thought you were hip hop? I think I can't speak for Rosenberg, but I'm ridiculed for, I guess, to some being loose with what I think hip hop is. Right? Whether you like it or not, hip hop to me is rhyming over any beat.
Thank you. I
Right.
agree.
Not everybody's as
That's-
open-minded as you, though.
Right, but
Well,
now,
yeah, that's
now the
what I'm saying.
question of whether you like it or not, or you think it's good or not,
Or for
is-
you.
or not, is separate from whether or not it's hip hop.
But I don't.
You know what I'm
Hold on. Anyone who would have a conversation, I'll be very bold about this. I don't care if you're sitting here or not. Anyone who would argue that you guys aren't hip hop does. I wouldn't.
Show me-
I would not understand the basis whatsoever.
Show me-
unless they said we don't like the way their fans look. We don't want to consider them hip hop because
saying?
it's
show me-
that's
show
not,
me
but that's
one-
not about them not being hip hop.
No.
Show
it's
me
wrong.
from the time of our career to the present. Show me one hip hop magazine that's ever printed the words "Insane Clown Posse" in it.
I've never. I don't know that I've ever seen it.
Yeah, don't exist.
You guys were never in the source back in the day.
Nah.
Never. Nothing.
None of that.
Even
rap pages, all that
what's
back
it
then,
called?
nothing.
They love the shit out of Tech, and rightfully so. Tech's dope.
Right, but you're just saying. But why couldn't you also
Yeah,
get included?
and Tech didn't start painting his
So-
face
so let me
until
ask you this.
halfway through
Let me
that
ask you
tour.
this.
By the way,
Let me ask
when he
you
walked
this.
out on stage with the paint, I was like, "Cool, he's just having fun tonight." Every night from there,
it was lit.
Stuck.
So let me ask you
and
this:
that's Juggalo
Do you guys-
influence. Is why I'm
reading-
saying that. I'm not dissing him. I'm saying
Violent
Juggalo
J's
influence.
always-
Like, embrace that.
Yes.
Let it be known. That's why we're marching. We're trying to let people know we ain't okay with being called a gang, man. We're not trying to get off a list. They don't even show the list no more. We don't care if we're on it or not. We want people to know, fuck you too, man. Fuck you
So
back.
let me
if
ask
we
you-
don't say nothing, we might as well be everything they say.
Fact.
Right? And
Do you-
what other way can we do that besides coming together in mass?
When is this march?
And the weekend of September 17th
In Washington.
in Washington.
Yes.
And the march doesn't have any purpose except to say as loudly and as proudly as we can, hey, fuck you too. You know
y'all
what I'm
gonna scare
saying?
the shit out of Trump.
And
Oh,
how
yeah,
can
it's
you
gonna be
how
like,
can
yo,
you
what
say
the fuck
that?
is happening?
No, people think we're silly because we're doing a march. How can you say that then? What? Give me another better idea how you can do it besides marching on Washington. That's who we're talking to. The government.
Yeah.
Fuck
Straight
you
up.
too. We ain't a gang. How can you say that? A song from ICP?
So let me ask you
Ain't gonna
back
do
back
it.
to the list and you not being in magazines. Do you feel like there was a period where people just didn't understand if this was a joke or not? Like they didn't get.
I don't understand that. I don't understand. We never been a joke. Man, today we're hotter than we ever been. We ripped some shit, man. I wish we could play some shit we did recently. We murdered the shit, man. I'm proud of the music we make. I've always been proud of it.
No, not the music per se, the look.
Yeah, do you think it throws people off? And they were like, "Oh, it's they didn't get."
What I think is because like around like 97, 98, we told everybody to fuck off. Everybody mainstream. You know what I'm saying? We burnt all our bridges purposely. You know what I'm saying?
Because
we didn't give a fuck. You know what I'm saying? Like every like when we first were coming out with our record Great Malenko, you know what I'm saying, on Island Records, you know what I'm saying? MTV was all over and shit.
Check this
and we were
out.
like, yo, and then we just slowly just had a fucking hate for them. You know what I'm saying? We're just like, yo, fuck you, man. We don't need you for shit.
We
you know?
were on Island Records following 2 platinum albums, right? We're still signed to the
This
contract.
one they merged with Def Jam.
Right,
and
they
shit.
merged with Def Jam. Def Jam's so uninterested in ICP, despite the fact that we're platinum artists, our last 2 albums with them.
We went into our label.
They actually let our contract expire without even realizing it. We walked the fuck off Island. And Def Jam majority took it over, but they were so uninterested in our shit.
In spite of the fact that you sold.
They could have sold
Platinum
us.
record.
They could have did anything. They were just so hands off that shit that
Didn't
we
know what
walked
to do
right
with it,
off the
didn't know what
label,
it
man.
was.
Yeah, our contract expired.
It just
You know what I'm saying?
inspired.
That
We
was
just
it.
were like, we
good.
got 2 weeks left. They ain't called yet, you know.
Right, we were like,
We're waiting,
yeah.
you know. That shit inspired. We called the next day. Peace. You know, went and signed for $1 million somewhere else. You know what I'm saying? Like, okay. You know what I mean? They could have did that, you know, but they're just like, we didn't want to acknowledge.
So where are the places you guys have been embraced? We talked earlier. We were talking off air, and it was recorded actually, so I'm gonna put a piece of that on the podcast in a little bit. But about how the wrestling world embraced you, right? For a time, WWE embraced you. For a time, WCW embraced you.
Yep.
Are there other places that you feel in the mainstream world reached out and understood the influence
It's all
you guys
happening
have?
now. It's all happening now. We're about to do the Parental Advisory Tour, which is sort of like the bad guys of the 90s tour. It's going to be us and the Ghetto Boys and Onyx. And I talked to DOC 2 days ago. It's going to be Lil E and Yella doing easy songs, which is cool. You know?
By the way, Shaggy, I did notice that you're wearing the authentic, original Ruthless Records promo
Hell
Eazy-E
yeah.
jersey.
Hell yeah, dog.
That is not common right there,
that
in
shit
case you're
changed our
wondering.
life.
You know
man.
what's up?
So you guys are going to go on sort of an old school rap tour, and that is
It's what it's becoming, but I want Stitches on it. I like Stitches. He's crazy. You know, he's so crazy.
Is he any good as a rapper?
I think so.
Yeah,
I
I've never-
love that song. Man, look at the video. Cocaine flying everywhere. This shit is so dope, man.
I was
I
about
haven't listened to his music enough.
I know we're thrown off by the imagery again. But listen,
It's almost like old school Miami shit where it's just like chant response stuff. You know what I'm saying? It's almost like that. You
We
know?
almost went on tour at Waka. It didn't work out at the last minute, but you know, we wanted to do that really, really, really bad. That would have been really cool. You know what I'm saying?
so you guys seem. I think it's interesting for people to hear how much you guys care about. On some level, you may have not wanted to fuck with the media, but you would have liked to have gotten acceptance from the casual hip hop fan.
Come on, man. Absolutely. That's
Yeah.
you
We
know,
ain't talking mainstream, you know what I'm saying?
No, you're talking about
we
people who
did,
love
though.
hip hop.
Right.
We do have acceptance. I mean, we've read reviews of our concerts where they're like, man, there was 1,500 people there. You know, they didn't play any instruments, let me down. You know, all they did was rap, and the only people that were having fun were the juggalos, you know. And I'm thinking, what the fuck does that mean? The only people having fun were the people there.
The people who are there to have
So
fun.
how does that even make sense? You
The
know
only
what I'm
people that
saying?
had fun were the people that bought tickets to come see you.
Like, okay, so the show sucked? You know, that's like me having me review a Chenny Kesner, whatever fucking
Kenny
name is.
Chesney.
Right, I'm gonna get in there and review his concert.
Nah.
I'm gonna be like, this shit sucks.
He was
I
rocking
bored.
Only people
Cowboy
having
boots.
fun with
And
the
all
people
the
with
people there were
cowboy
like,
hats.
woo, all the cowboys throwing their
Yeah,
hats.
there was
I
only a
don't know
bunch
that.
of people having fun with a bunch of drunk cowboys. You know what's going on here?
It's like, why
kind of
would
shit
you
is
put
this?
a guy writing about our show that don't know shit about our shit? You know what I'm saying? Like, obviously, you know, it's just like people, okay, would we love to have acceptance from hip hop fans? We do.
Yeah, but a lot of them you would say are considered just
the media
juggalos
is-
and not
Yeah, and I
typical
don't
hip hop
like,
fans.
My only argument about our entire career, which we're entirely proud of, is that juggalos don't get the due respect they need. That's what we're even talking about, what Tech said for.
Right.
We love Tech. If this affects our friendship, that sucks, man, because I love them. You know, but if it does, it does, because I love juggalos more. You know what I'm saying? And he didn't give the ups I thought he should have. When
So you just feel like
when the direct question was multiply asked. If you look at that interview, you guys asked him.
Well, we're great journalists. It doesn't surprise me.
You
did a good
kept
job.
going back to it 2 or 3 times, and he skipped it all 3 times. He didn't give Juggalos no disses, nothing like that. But just talking about things
Trying to
like,
avoid it.
Talking about things like a raw dog line, and it's just not even happening like
Well,
that.
I will tell you, when we had Danny Brown on the podcast at some point, Danny, who spoke lovingly of
That's what I'm saying. It doesn't hurt you.
no, he had a ball. But
He's the best. Danny Brown's so cool,
He
man.
did talk about some crazy stories though, and people whipping out titties and chanting family. But
Of course.
it was all in very happy.
Where is that? Well, show me one festival on private property that don't happen though.
I would hope so. I mean,
Show me one concert that don't have bitches pulling their titties out. You know what I'm saying?
Well, good
have
con- it happens- It's a
Titties
good
in
concert.
rock and roll history, man.
so what is you guys are going to have a gathering. You haven't announced this year's gathering,
Because
correct?
you know why? Because last year we announced we're going to the West Coast for the first time. Because Juggalos on the West Coast always get the bone. They got to drive 2 or 3 days or fly all the way. So we're like, let's bring it to the West Coast. Boom. The gang problem is so much more in effect on the West Coast.
Yeah.
The motherfuckers literally are so nice as hell until the word Juggalo comes out of our mouth. They don't even think, we're not going to be able to do this because of the they don't even give you that respect. Boom. You know what I'm saying?
So what happened
Straight
last
up.
year? What did you end up doing?
Well, last year we killed it in the Midwest.
You did
again,
go-
but
you did Midwest.
Now
Yeah,
we're trying
and
to
then
go
we're
to the
talking
West
about we're going
Coast.
to
you
bring it
wanted
to the
to-
West Coast
And that's
this
where the
year.
gang problem is extra strong, so we can't, nobody will insure it. And
Can't get a place?
The town committee will throw it out. We've learned, we used to announce it when we thought we had a place. And then before the city threw it out, now we wait till the city
It's
is okay
completely
with it.
locked in
Right,
until
and
you
then we'll
announce
announce it. And that's what's
Fully
taking so
insured,
long
everything.
now.
And do you have any goals left for you guys to accomplish? You sold millions of records. You guys have done well. I'm not going to get in your pockets like I normally like to.
You
But
guys-
have done quite well financially.
I
know
might
that.
I might sound like a fool right now saying this, but I guarantee you time will show you the reality. We're about
That's what I'm saying.
halfway through
No
our
doubt.
legacy.
We're just starting. We're just starting our careers.
We
man.
ain't done. Man, we're
doubt.
first of all,
We got the fire of a 19,
I'm
20
gonna
year
tell
old
you,
kid just started,
the face
man.
paint helps. The face paint helps.
What do you,
It
oh,
does
staying young?
today. We're getting respect
No,
today.
but
say no.
You said the heat on Hot 97.
No, my point is like, no matter how old you get, as long as you can get on that stage
Yeah,
and
you
you
got-
look and you got young spirit, nobody can tell what's going on under the
I was
face
about to
paint.
say it is an interesting thing. Like I was looking, Shaggy. I was watching. I was just on my computer. I pulled up you guys having a tag match in WCW. And by the way, if you go type in Insane Clown Posse on the WWE Network, you can find a bunch of your stuff.
No, not on the WWE network.
no, it's there.
Not on the network.
Erased us
On the internet?
They
Yeah.
Chris Benoit us.
Yeah.
Well,
They
I don't wanna
erased
blow-
us from their history.
No.
Wait, where'd you get it?
It's here. If you go look,
Actual WWE shit.
if you're on the WWE Network and you type in Insane Clown Posse.
Good. That's either they put us back or I was misinformed.
No, you're there. Insane
Oh,
Clown Posse.
dopeness.
It's
Yeah.
now a lot of it's your WCW
Oh, that
work.
hurt my pride when they did that.
Nah,
Yeah,
there's
Chris-
pages of this shit. There's
Man, we were on the cover of the WWE magazine. That's my most infamous magazine cover. I got that shit framed, man. I'm so proud of that.
You have, you guys have. Anyways, but looking back at that, when I look at Shaggy, you're having a match. You look the exact fucking same. You look the exact way. Now listen, it's different with you, Violet. You've gone up and down weight wise, right?
like a blowfish.
Although you look about the same now than you did in your WWE days, right? Or were you bigger in
I think
WWE
I
days?
was- I don't know. That was a long time ago.
Anyways, listen, guys, I'm just happy you guys made time to come. We've been talking. You come up periodically.
Yeah.
By the way, that should have answered your question. We do a hip hop show. We do a show at Hot 97. We have for years, and the fact that you guys are kind of part of you're part of the hip hop. To me, if you know the whole culture through and through, you're a part
You
of the
know
story
about
that has to
I
Insane
be told.
Clown
appreciate
Posse.
that. We really appreciate that, man.
Well, and also for me, I never got that into the music, right? I've never followed the music. It was the guys, I thought it was wrestling inspired, never knew that it was. It was the guys that took the wrestling shit, put the face paint on, and became the Insane Clown Posse and has an amazing, touring following. That's how I process
like
it.
we came from wrestling.
Yo,
Well,
check out my
but
new
that
record
was the
coming out, dog. You'll be
inspiration.
like, whoa. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
Yeah, check it.
No
For
doubt.
So
It's-
that's good.
It's called Fuck the Fuck Off Motherfucker. Is what
That's
it's
the name of
called.
your new album?
FTFOMF. My first one way back in
I
the day
need
was
a
just Fuck
t-shirt.
Off. My last one was Fuck the Fuck Off. This one's Fuck the Fuck Off Motherfucker.
Wait, what's the acronym for fuck the fuck off?
FTFOMF.
I need a t-shirt.
FTFOMF is tight.
I need a t-shirt.
you know, and that's dope.
Yo, can you make Ebro
And
a
it's
special one
pure
with a
heat.
picture of Donald Trump that says FTO?
Yeah.
That's what I want to hear, a new Paris record, man. Now that we got Trump.
Well, you
in
know what?
office.
You
Trump
said Paris?
killer. Yeah.
You talking about hip hop? He said he
Paris.
wants a new Paris.
Paris.
record.
Yeah, no
Come
doubt,
on, we
man.
did a
that's
song
fine.
with Paris, man.
Yeah.
Paris,
You did?
We love
Oakland,
Paris.
yeah,
Paris
Oakland,
played
that's Bay
together.
Area.
Come on, Paris is a beast.
Yo, that's why I love these guys. Why I'm glad you guys came in. So look for the solo album, Gathering of the Juggalos in the summertime. And thank you guys for making time for
Hey,
us.
one more thing,
Yo,
man.
go.
You know, I just want to reiterate again. Tech has always been respectful and a gentleman. You know what I'm saying? my point, our purpose.
Number love.
So you don't want Juggalos going after his
Hell
name?
no,
That's
man.
not the point.
They
No.
ain't gonna do it anyway.
Number
They love
mad
Tech.
love for
you know what I'm
Tech,
saying?
man.
But we have mad love and respect for Tech. I just wish sometimes on the public platforms like this, he would be a little more
Embrace
his coming up, man.
I bet you'll hear. I have a hunch you'll hear from him now. Hey, Ebro, thanks for doing this.
It was
also.
my pleasure, man.
It's my pleasure.
Yeah,
All right.
insane.
Insane
Thank you
Clown
guys. Hell yeah. Woo, woo.